let's make some pickled wood juice. And the way we do this is we're going to take a jar. We're going to fill it up with white distilled vinegar. Just like so. And you're going to fill it about 3/4 of the way full, and then you can get steel wool. It doesn't matter what kind of steel wool it is, as long as it's 100% steel. Sometimes you'll find cheapy stuff that's part steel and part something else. Just make sure it's 100% steel wool. It doesn't matter what the grade is. You're going to read, some people are saying use fine grade, some people say use coarse. It doesn't matter. You don't have to tear it up. You don't have to take it apart. You just stuff it in there. Okay? All the way down. And make sure it's covered. So shove it down in there. It's going to get bubbly. It's going to, once it starts to oxidize, you're going to see this change. I'm using a canning jar. I do not put the lid on tightly. I just set this on top, like so. If you screw it on tightly, it's going to build up gases in there and you're going to have a dangerous situation. So leave it on there very gently. Put it away somewhere. I had it out on the porch because vinegar stinks. And we're going to leave it like this for 24 hours. And this is what it looks like now, clear with wool in it. You can come back and look at it in a couple hours, and if the wool starts to bubble up towards the top, you can shove it back down with a wooden stick or something. And then put your lid back on very lightly. After 24 hours, this is what you get. You get a jar, and it might have a little bit of an amber color to it like this. It might still be clear. It might be darker grayish brown. And your steel wool will probably still be intact. Now, you go online and they're going to have all these videos about how it dissolves, and you leave it in there until all of the steel wool is dissolved. You don't need it to be dissolved for the oxidation, the oxidizing action to happen. It's already changed the vinegar in 24 hours. You don't need to wait for that to totally dissolve. Anyhow, so we take this out, and you're left with a solution that you still do not want to seal up tightly. I don't know if you can or not. I don't, because I end up using it all anyway. I'm not going to keep it around forever and ever. This is ready to be used immediately. There are variations in this color that you can see. I have a batch here that is probably 2 weeks old, and you can see how dark it is. This is actually a batch of 3 different versions that we ended up doing. It was interesting because when we did it, we had 3 jars with the exact same stuff in it, and they all came out different colors. That's why I know it can come out clear, amber, or this darker color and be just fine. And interestingly enough, they all turn the wood the exact same shade. I'm not sure what made them all change different colors, but nonetheless, this is what we got. And it looks great. I'm going to show you guys what it looks like on the wood. Okay, now for the staining. First thing you need to do on pine wood, and this is for pine wood. I'm not sure what other wood you may need to do this on, but I do know for pine wood, there's not enough tannin, which is the chemical that's present in wood naturally, not enough tannin in this to react with the vinegar and steel wool stain to give it the right color. If you tried to do the vinegar wool stain on this without putting the next step on, it would have a very bizarre look to it. They'd be really yellow and gray. There'd be really yellow parts and really gray parts. And I want it to look more evenly brownish gray. And the way to do that is to add tannin. And what we do to add tannin is we use tea. And you just brew yourself up a nice batch of tea. That's what I've done here. I just happened to use a tea bottle to put it in. I just shoved about 5 Lipton tea bags in there. And this has already been used, so it was about this full. 5 tea bags, let it sit overnight. Or I didn't even put hot water in it. I just put tap water with 5 tea bags. In any case, makes a nice strong brew. Doesn't matter if there's grains in it. You're going to see people say, oh, be sure to strain it, yada yada. You don't have to strain it. If it's got grounds, if it's got tea leaves in there, who cares? So what you're going to do is you're going to take your tea and you're going to coat your board, the whole thing. Just go crazy. Saturate that baby. Don't be stingy with the tea. Tea is cheap, so you don't have to be stingy. If you do it outside, you can be nice and sloppy like I am. I would recommend doing this outside. I discovered that the vinegar and steel wool combo stains not only the wood, but it'll stain your clothing, some clothing, and my fingers. I ended up with bizarrely brown gray fingers for about a day and a half that wouldn't scrub off very well. Okay, so we've got the top covered nicely. Do not forget, if you have an overlip or a nose on your staircase like I do, this much is going to be exposed on the bottom. Be sure to do that.